If you're trying to lose fat and think that tracking calories and having a deficit will make you do it, then you might be wrong, because it will not. It doesn't work this way. Let me explain. So you want to lose some fat, but what if I tell you that losing fat and burning fat is not the same? How many times you tried keto? Not eating bread and do cardio every day to the point that you hate your life. So let me show you how to lose fat without much effort. So we can finally lose this, or whatever the part of body you really want to lose. So what I have for you is these 8 points you have to make sure you can understand about. So first point, temporary habits don't work. So for example, if you wanna lose fat, and what you're gonna do is to go for a certain diet for, let's say, 1 month, and when you're gonna achieve your goal, which is maybe losing, like, I don't know, 2 kilograms of fat, what you're gonna do after that, you're gonna just go back to your old habits, meaning it will not do anything to you, and you're gonna go back to your normal weight, like the weight you had. The point I'm trying to make is, for example, if going for a walk, for a jog or whatever in the morning makes you happy because you did some physical activity, once you're gonna stop doing that in the morning, then you will lose that happiness, you will lose that endorphins in the morning. So it's very important for you to understand that, first of all, those habits you're gonna have when you're gonna lose fat, you have to keep them forever, basically. Once you're gonna switch back to your old self, you're gonna go back to this weight, which in the beginning, in the first place, you don't want to be at. So you should basically eat in a way where you can maintain that lifestyle for the rest of your life, basically. And you don't want to feel restricted. So yes, you can eat some sweets. Of course, we don't want to, not only sweets, but if you have something that you really like in your diet and you cannot get rid of, it's 100% better for you to keep it at, let's say, 15% of your diet total calories will go from food which you really like to eat, could be sweets, to make sure you are not feeling that much restricted in your day. Another point, popular diets. So for example, you had about keto, you had about only protein, you had about no bread, you had about probably about something, I don't know, just fruits or whatever. The problem with that is diet will not work for you in this way. This is very similar to point first, which is if you cannot keep this diet forever, you should not spend more than 5 minutes on, I don't know, eating like that, okay? The point is this, those diets are marketing things that if you're gonna try this diet, you're gonna lose fat. You will not lose fat if you are not in calorie deficit. And so many times you heard that probably. I'm gonna try to explain that later on in this video because this is very crucial for you to understand. Another one, very important, is protein. So many people have low protein diet. I want to show you this, okay? If you have a meal and you have like 25-30 grams of protein per meal, what will happen is you will feel satisfied with that meal for longer because protein is the most satisfied macronutrient. Also, it has timing effects. So for example, 100 calories from protein, body absorbs only 70 because 30%, 25% of it. In order for the body to absorb protein, it has to use some energy. And that energy is around 25-30%. Meaning, like I just said, 100 calories of protein basically is 70 calories. Number 4, daily activity. So most of you might go on a fat loss journey and think that you have to basically kill yourself outside, meaning you walk so much more, you doing lots of sports, you even going to the gym, which is great. But if you cannot sustain that for 1 week, or I mean, if you can only sustain that for 1 week, then maybe you should lower your daily activity. Because I would rather do 3 times per week gym, 5,000 steps per day, and being able to sustain that forever than doing something that I can just do for 1 week. And the best approach is to start slow and see, maybe you're gonna get this more drive towards more workouts, okay, in your life. But you don't want to straight away go for 6 times per week gym, 25,000 steps per day, because it's gonna be difficult for you in the beginning. So you should start slower with activity, and of course, more activity then better for you. However, if you cannot sustain that and you can always be active 3 times per month, I want you to be active 30 times per month. Consistency is better than the intensity. 6 point, training and no training. You can lose fat without the gym. However, what gym makes you do is build muscle. Once you build the muscle costs calories. Example, if someone weight 80 kilograms have like 10% of body fat, this means he have a lot of muscle mass. If the person B is 80 kilograms as well, but have like 25% more fat, meaning he have less muscle mass, the amount of calories you can eat while having muscle mass is bigger. So for example, you can actually have like 300, 400, 500 calories per day more to be able to eat without consequences because you have muscle mass. And muscle mass costs basically calories, okay? It's like having a sports car in your garage. It takes more fuel, it takes more maintenance because it looks great. And also not only calories, but as a whole, having the muscles is amazing. You don't need to spend hours in the gym. Trust me, doing 3 times per week workouts will get you really big and satisfying results. And later on, you can add more sessions, but as a whole, if you've never been in the gym, just focus on the basics and try to be at least 3 times per week in the gym. 7, track properly. So please understand, this is a very, very crucial thing. You cannot gain fat in 2 days. Like, the point I'm trying to make, you might go to a diet. I mean, I like to say changing your habits, and you're gonna go to weigh yourself in a toilet after 7 days, and you're gonna see you gain weight about 1 kilogram, and you're gonna say it doesn't work. The problem with that is, in order for you to actually gain 1 kilogram of fat, you have to eat over your calories, and that number is 7,700 calories. So technically speaking, it's really fucking difficult for you to get 1 kilogram of fat in 3 days, in 1 week. Very difficult. Maybe in 1 month, fine or okay. However, you most likely gained slightly more water, retained slightly more water. You're just a human in the end, and please understand, just make sure to follow the diet, and after a while, let's say 1 month, if you see on the pictures, because I hope you're doing pictures or measure yourself, you don't need to measure yourself if you don't have time, but just do pictures. You will see that weight sometimes just joke with you. And it might sound funny, but please understand, you don't want to put your mind into the weight, into the number of the scale, because this might kill your progress. You might be discouraged, you might not like the idea of you being on that diet because you think it doesn't work. It works. Maybe you have to slightly lower the calories later on, but as a whole, you are not gaining weight in a form of fat, because like I just said, 7,700 calories is fat. It's 1 kilogram of fat. It's difficult to eat that. And the point 8, deficit. In the video, I talked about that deficit doesn't work. It works. However, I'm still worried if some people are thinking about deficit that they're gonna just eat less. You don't want to just eat less, okay? You want to eat more food, which will help you get deficit. If you're eating cucumber, if you're eating tomatoes, eggs, all those things which, first of all, like vegetables like that don't have that much calories, is most of that is water, which is great because it have volume but doesn't count calories, doesn't cost that much calories, if that makes sense. And that food will help you be in deficit, okay? I don't really like to go on a deficit without changing your diet. I mean, if you're eating healthy and that's what you're eating, then fine. But as a whole, if you're eating in a way where you just don't change your main food, it's gonna be difficult for you to get on deficit. Most of the food, which the shorter the journey of the food, the better for you. If there is no advertisement on YouTube or television about certain food, it means it's healthy for you. Eggs, chicken, lean meat, healthy fats from pumpkin seeds, almonds, sunflower seeds. This is great food for you. If you're gonna have more of these, then it's gonna be easier for you to have deficit. If you're gonna have slightly less than you should have sweets, which you like, you're gonna still be able to maintain that diet, which is great. So you don't want to cut these ones, but as a whole, you need this and this in order to keep yourself happy. This is the point I'm trying to make. Of course, you can still lose fat having just sweets, but it's gonna be a difficult journey for you, much more difficult. That's it. If you have any question down below, comment.